there are certain things you do, maybe 6 months ago or 9 months ago, to automate a certain function of the company or a certain thing that you do every day, and then 6 to 9 months later, you don't think about it as automation anymore. You just think about it as the tool that I use in order to do X, Y, and Z.
Hello and welcome to the eCommerce podcast. We believe that there is more than enough content focused on e-commerce marketing and not enough content celebrating the real heroes of e-commerce, those running the operation. Each week, we find and interview an e-commerce operations expert to share the secrets behind how some of this industry's most exciting businesses are run. I'm your host, Norbert Strappler, the CEO of SyncSpider.
Hello and welcome to the show. Hello and welcome to the eCommerce podcast. And today I'm talking to Colin McIntosh, known as Omen, right?
Yeah.
Are you using a Mac?
I am using a Mac. Yes. Yeah.
Oh, really?
And in the United States, I don't know if you have them in Austria, but we have Macintosh apples too. So I only eat Macintosh apples as well. So
oh, great.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to the show, Colin. How are you? All good? Is the bed nice?
Yes, it's morning over here, so it's about 9:30, and so I hope you don't mind if I have a cup of coffee and chat with you from bed.
That's great. Well, it's perfectly matching your store. Tell us a bit about what you're doing.
So I am founder and CEO of a company called Sheets Giggles. As you can see from my eye mask back here. And we make bed sheets, comforters, duvet covers, and pillowcases and throw blankets now from a material that's called eucalyptus lyocell. So it's a very super soft, sustainable fabric that is made from the wood pulp of trees instead of from a fiber like cotton or a petrochemical like polyester. It's a sustainable closed loop process that uses way less water, less energy, no insecticides, no pesticides, and it uses no harmful chemicals either. And most of the solvents in the wood pulp batches are reused and recaptured for future production. So it's a really wonderful closed loop process.
Oh, that's wonderful, and it's good for the environment, for everyone. So this is really great, and they are more lightweight, or
so they're more lightweight. So they are airier. They're softer. They have a lower coefficient of friction than cotton, so they're better for sensitive skin. They're actually dermatologist recommended for sensitive skin. And they are also more breathable, and very importantly, their moisture management is superior. So what that means is that the human body sleeps best when it's dry and cool and it's temperature regulated. You don't get too hot, you don't get too cold. And so our sheets have a perfectly cylindrical filament. And so when you sweat into them, your sweat becomes distributed and evaporated much more efficiently than a natural fiber like cotton, which has a wavy filament. And so you never wake up in a pool of sweat. And so you stay dry and cool all night. It's great.
That's nice. Cool. I need to try one. And you're producing yourself and selling it online, or you're just a reseller here?
So we have contract manufacturers. So we interviewed, when we got started, we interviewed dozens of manufacturers all across the world with our ideas and designs. And that's how I came across the material of eucalyptus lyocell. And the adoption is very low in the United States. And so it was actually an Austrian company that was one of the first people to produce this, called Lenzing. And so we've met with them, we've met with others. And we have a few manufacturers that we work with now, 3 manufacturers that we work with. All across the world. And so we are, we don't own the equipment or anything, but that's the goal one day, is to have our own factories and our own plants.
That's nice. Well, Lenzing is great. I know them, of course.
Big
huge company here.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If you want to see the store, it's sheetsgiggles.com, and it's a Shopify store. But tell me a bit about how did you get first into e-commerce?
Well, so it's interesting. I kind of backed into it because I had been in another company for a few years prior to this that was doing mostly physical retail. So I was running business development for that company. It was a wearable technology company, kind of like Fitbit, if you're familiar with Fitbit, or Apple Watch. And I had sold into Target. I had sold, big in the United States, big retailers, Target, Best Buy. I had sold into online shopping channels like HSN and QVC, TV shopping. And we also had an Amazon presence. And we were in, thousands of stores across the United States. And that was back in 2016, 2017, which actually, when you think about the changing landscape in terms of sales channels, was actually a really, really, really bad time to launch a product at physical retail. And we were all young. We were in our 20s, and we didn't really understand kind of the landscape that was changing and shifting underneath our feet, because we had started developing this product in 2013, and we finally brought it to market in 2015, 2016. And we had these retail deals that we had in place, going into 2016 from the year prior in 2015. So it was almost like we made these deals for an older shopping landscape, and then the e-commerce experience kind of shifted out from underneath our feet. And so I learned the hard way about introducing $100 technology product in physical retail, and why philosophically that's a really bad way to introduce a product, because you're asking people to impulse buy something they've never seen before at a price point that's not an impulse buy price point. And so the go-to-market strategy was not sound. We did not perform as well as we had hoped, and the company laid all of us. We all got fired in September 2017. And so 3 weeks later, in October 2017, I founded Sheets and Giggles with all the lessons that I had learned from that last company. And I built my perfect company around my perfect business model, which is on online e-commerce.
That's nice. And are you only online now, or do you still have your stores, or do you still deliver to retailers?
So we're only online. We do some private labeling. We do some private labeling for some mattress companies. So we have a couple mattress companies that we make their sheets for them, and we'll wholesale our sheets to them with their own boxes and packaging and labels and everything. But other than that, we're 100% on sheetsgiggles.com, and then we're on Amazon at amazon.com/sheets, which is a great URL.
This is a great URL. This is awesome. Cool.
Yeah.
So what's your current e-com stack? What do you use?
So we got Shopify, and then about 30 different apps on the back end in terms of our tech. We also have a web development agency that we employ on a monthly retainer, based in London, actually. And they're wonderful. And so we work with them on a weekly basis. We do weekly sprints. We work on the website, different features. We A/B test a bunch of different things. So we do have a pretty in-depth tech stack on the website, but we also have a tech team on retainer. I'm trying to think of anything that I really love in terms of like my favorite pieces of my Shopify store that I couldn't do without third-party apps. There's a new one that I'll give a shout out to called, because I really want more people to adopt it, called Co-op Commerce. And I'm looking at them right now. And basically what they'll allow you to do is three things, basically. One is upsell products after checkout. So let's say somebody buys a set of sheets, then you can upsell a set of pillowcases, which is a really great user experience for people. Thing number two it lets you do is it will let you upsell after checkout other companies. So if there are other sustainability companies in the home, let's say, a sustainable kitchen company or a sustainable furniture company, and somebody's just bought our sheets, we can double opt in with that company and say, you might also like this company, and then send them to their store. And then the same goes for us on that company's store. So it's like a co-op.
Nice,
And the third thing is eventually they'll be able to, when they have enough people on the platform, it's a brand new app. There's only like 300 companies on it. You'll be able to choose products from other companies to sell on your website. And then they'll take those orders and send them to the Shopify store for the other companies. So if there's a complementary product like towels or something else that we don't currently make and don't want to take the inventory risk for, we can then get a 20-30% margin share of products. So that's something I'm really excited about that just came to mind. But we also have shipping apps and Google Shopping, all the typical stuff that you'd find on a Shopify store.
Yeah, everything you need to run an e-com business.
Tax apps, Avalara tax, and the United States tax landscape is a mess. It's an absolute sales tax is a mess. So
I heard this quite often already. This is a mess, but I think it's if you're really a huge retailer and you're in the European Union, you also have the problem that you need to reflect the taxes of all those different countries.
Oh, does Europe
different? It's horrible.
Does Europe have taxes? I've never. Americans don't talk about that at all. I've never heard about that.
Yeah, we have. Yeah. We have.
Okay.
Two or three tax classes per country typically, and
and
everything is different.
Canada's similar because we sell in Canada as well. Yeah. So you got your federal tax code, your regional tax code, and then your localized tax code. And they're very, very pricey duties. So
yeah. How many percentage of your sales go through the store and how many go through platforms?
So it's about 80-20 from our store and then 20% through Amazon. So it's about 80%, 20%. Yeah. I would say
you're only on Amazon or also you try other things out?
Just Amazon. We're about to try out Walmart. So we're about to try out Walmart.com. And then we're going to be looking at a few other platforms. We're currently pitching to a few retailers for 2022. So now that we're entering year 4 and 5 of the business, we've built a more nationally recognized brand. We've been on Good Morning America, which is a really big TV show on ABC. We've gotten some really good national recognition and national press. And so, our sustainability and philanthropy efforts are really starting to make a good name for the company. Last year, we donated $40,000 to COVID-19 relief in the state of Colorado, which is where we're based. And so we've been getting a lot of attention just for our corporate social responsibility and what we do. And it's been really nice to see the growth of the brand. And so I think next year we'll probably do a partnership with at least 1 or 2 retailers.
Mm-hmm. That's great. And do you have a specific person in your team that is focused on operations?
I do. I have Mike and Seth, and they're very. And then we have our CFO, and we've got a few people that are focused on operations. And then we employ freight forwarders, and we've got our 3PLs for third-party logistics and fulfillment. And so it takes a village, but internally we've got Mike, Seth, and Matt. And their operations team, the global internal and external operations are a nightmare with COVID. But it's been a really interesting learning experience the last year.
Oh yeah, these problems I've heard quite often in the past year. So that nearly everyone that, of course, the sales went up, and the supply chains in the background went down. So I think everyone is affected here.
It was tough. We had a lot of people, that were unable to buy our products because we had a supply chain breakdown for 3 or 4 months, and we ran out of stock. We ran out of stock for 2 or 3 months, and it was challenging. Last year was definitely a very taxing year, but also a very rewarding year. And we're just very blessed and happy that we were able to give back during a challenging time, and help other people in our community last year. So.
When I hear something like this, you ran out of stock, something happens here. What do you do, or how are you ensuring that your customers really have a great experience, especially during such hard times?
When you're out of stock, the best way to do it is to be transparent. So you let them know, hey, look, we shut down production for 75 days due to worker safety. We wanted to make sure that in April and May, March, April, May, no one had any idea what was going on. We want to make sure that everybody was safe, that we had the right regulations, the right things in place to make sure that, nobody was harmed in terms of, COVID-19. And, we just explained that to people, and people were very, very accommodating. They said that makes sense. Thank you for the transparency. If there were delays, we would say, hey, look, we can't get a FedEx truck. We can't get a UPS truck to pick up our units. We can't, they were so behind, Amazon wasn't taking anything in the FBA centers. It was total chaos. And from a logistics perspective. And so we were just very upfront and honest with people, and we were letting them know the challenges we were facing. And we had, little sign up to be notified forms on our website for when we were back in stock. So you could, be the first to know when we were back in stock. And when we were back in stock in October last year, people responded extremely well, and they came back by the thousands to purchase our products. So it was really nice to see the support from the community in terms of, all right, great. This company I like is back in stock. I'm going to go support them and help this small business out. And so it was really, really great to see that.
That's cool, and that's maybe a shipping chaos in your logistics centers.
I'm a little worried about the shipping chaos that's going to come from this week and next week with the ship that just ran aground in the Suez Canal yesterday. So it's crazy. International logistics is just insane right now. Totally insane.
It is, so, absolutely. Yeah. And do you rely on a lot of automations? So is this important for your company to have automations in place?
Oh yeah, and I think the thing about automation, I was actually thinking about this yesterday. You almost don't even notice it anymore. You don't even realize, like, there are certain things you do maybe 6 months ago or 9 months ago to automate a certain function of the company or a certain thing that you do every day, and then 6 to 9 months later, you don't think about it as automation anymore. You just think about it as the tool that I use in order to do X, Y, and Z. And so, yeah, automation is, I think for a modern e-commerce company, you generally want to target what most people are saying is about $1.5 million per head in terms of sales. And that's very tough to do without a lot of automation. And so, we employ a ton of it for sure.
Mm-hmm. What are those automations about? So what do you currently try to automate?
So everything from scheduling to forecasting to our returns and fulfillment, some of our customer service. We try to automate a little bit of our email flows. We automate our direct mail campaigns. Mm-hmm. For example, a great example is for our direct mail campaigns. We have 2 direct mail campaigns. One is a thank you note from the CEO that will automatically go out to, it's a handwritten thank you note that will automatically go out to somebody a month after they get their order, and it will thank them and give them more information about the company and give them a time-sensitive discount code. And then another note is actually something that has a a fabric sample. And mm-hmm. So basically it'll actually go out. We're actually setting that up right now to where if you go to our website and you don't buy, it'll actually send you a fabric sample in the mail. And so that's something that I think is really interesting in terms of we don't even have to lift a finger. We'll have that all automated in terms of that interaction with people. And then something else that we've automated recently is our email flow and that's something pretty basic. And now we're looking at automating our text message flow as well. And so we've automated our abandoned cart flow from both a text message and email perspective. There's a bunch of different things in there that you can automate over time. Really, really powerful. Technology is incredible.
Absolutely. Technology. I recently bought a mattress, and I got the package, and there was a card inside, handwritten by the one who packed it. This is also something that I really love about those brands, that they get so personal with things. And I think 3 weeks ago I had an interview with a company called Handwritten.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
Yes, I
They are great. The idea is really great. So having automating something like a new order is placed and you send them via API the information about the customer. The robot is writing the handwritten note and sending it over. So it's really great what he can do.
It's incredible. It's incredible, and I'm very impressed with the things that people have built.
Yeah, absolutely. What will your ops team be focused in the next year? 2021, 22?
In proper inventory planning and forecasting. I always tell people if somebody, I've been approached and we have paid money to so many softwares and artificial intelligence tools for inventory planning, and none of them work. And so if there's anyone out there who actually builds a inventory planning and forecasting system for a company with as little as 5 SKUs to a company with thousands of SKUs, you will be incredibly successful, because that is we're out of stock on some of our sizes and colors and products all the time. And so it's been very frustrating because it's just lost revenue opportunity. So we're actually gonna go out and raise a little bit of money, and then we're gonna use that to dramatically expand our inventory position, and we'll never be out of stock again.
Yeah, well, this is really a hard thing. One of my clients is selling and producing shoes, international, and they really have also the same problem: sizing, colors, trends. Yeah. And as it was for COVID, they're especially building those outdoor niche. So they are fulfilling for the mountains, for climbing, for running. So these type of shoes. And when something like COVID, as this happened, of course, the people went out more often. They went out more to the mountains. They could not do any other things like that. And of course, the numbers increased dramatically. But then every planning is gone. So
there's everything goes out the window, and it becomes really, really hard to forecast when demand spikes like that and supply chokes like that. And so I think a lot of people have been understanding, but I think, and I don't know how it is with European customers, because we don't serve European customers yet. But with American customers, it is very frustrating sometimes to deal with the American customer, because they expect so much, which is fine. It's good to have high expectations, but they don't understand a lot of the limitations. So we have people all the time who get very upset with us, and they'll write in and they'll say, I've wanted, your full sheets in red for a month, and you're still not in stock with them. Like, why is it taking so long? Because in their minds, you as a company, you always have a supply of these sheets, and you always pay your cash for inventory production, and then you just sit on the inventory and you just wait for people to come over and buy it, and then you ship it to them, and then you always bring in more and more and more, and you just have warehouses full of it. But for small businesses, you can't sit on inventory, because that's just sitting on cash, and it's a wasted opportunity cost. And you're trying to hit, you have 200 SKUs, right? We have 7 sizes and 11 colors and 2 depths in sheets. So we have for thicker mattresses and thinner mattresses. So you're talking about over 100 SKUs for just the bed sheets. And, sometimes when we make our production orders with 2 or 3 months of lead time, when we're actually going to be producing these before they hit our warehouse, sometimes you don't order enough full red. And sometimes you don't order enough California King Navy, and we make up for that by over ordering white and gray and queen and king, and we make sure that, because those are our most popular colors and our most popular sizes, so we always make sure we have enough of those. But you can't just order extra of everything just in case you don't hit your targets or that you exceed your targets. So I think
it's not only America. I think it's not only America. It's the same here in Europe as well. And I think that the people are Yeah.
It's a layer of obfuscation, right? The company itself is a layer of obfuscation between the customer and the product, to where they want to purchase the product, and the company has to design, make, produce, hold, and ship it. And that's the whole value of the company. That's why they're paying you the money for the product. So I understand the frustration of someone who wants something and can't get it. I totally understand that. But I'm very sympathetic to when I'm shopping for something and I see that it's not available for shipping to my state, or it has a high shipping fee, or it's, the color that I want is out of stock, or the size that I need is out of stock. I'm very sympathetic to those companies now, because I know what a nightmare it is.
How about the shipping costs? Is there anything? Let's talk about optimizing a store. This is why I came for the shipping costs, because everyone knows no shipping costs means better conversion rate at the checkout. But are there any special tips and tricks that you can give our audience? What should I do next to really optimize my store?
So I don't like the companies that do free shipping over X dollars, right? I don't like that. I don't like it when it's, free shipping over $200 or free shipping over $100, because I feel like you're training the customer to look for the exact amount of money to add to their cart, and you're going to end up artificially changing your average order value to whatever that number is. So what I like to do is we charge $9.95 flat rate shipping on our website for any order. And I find that as long as shipping is less than 10% of the order total, people don't really balk at that. They'll I don't know if bulk is an it's about baseball. People won't abandon their cart because of that. But we do offer free shipping for any 2-item or more order. So I think that's something that I would actually like to be adopted more, is make it really simple for people. 1-item orders cost $5, $10 to ship, and then 2, 3, 4-item orders or more free shipping. And I think
nice approach. I like that.
And I think that flexibility where you're telling the person anything else you see in our store, anything at all, add it to your order and your order will ship for free. And you're transparent with them and you let them know in the FAQs and the details, look, this is how the math works out for us. And so if you like our store, if you like what we're doing and you want to buy multiple things, do so. And we have a really aggressive return policy, so you can be rest assured that you're going to love everything or your money back. And people take advantage of that a lot, and you'll see your average items per order go up. And you're also, what you'll wind up doing is you'll increase your average order value flexibility to where people will really surprise you, and maybe they'll add 2, 3, 4, 5 items to an order if you give them that type of flexibility. Or from another perspective, your average order value might go way up because instead of adding the smallest order threshold, they'll actually add a more expensive item, and you'll be surprised by what they want. So I like that more nebulous approach to it.
Yeah, it's definitely something that that the audience should test. It's a really interesting approach.
I think people will be surprised. Yeah. I think you'll only have higher average order values if you don't put a number on the free shipping.
Colin, there's something that I always wanted to know.
Sure.
How do you handle? So it's mattresses, it's covers and so on. So it's sheets. How do you handle returns? So people use that. How do you handle returns? What do you do with the stock?
So we ask them for pictures.
Yeah.
And sometimes people just open their box, they pull it out, and very rarely they'll just say, this is not for me, or I want a different color, or whatever it is. And so for those people, we just have them send it back to us, and then we repackage and resell the inventory. We have a repackaging operation that we use for that. The second thing is if somebody sleeps on the sheets for a couple of weeks and they say, you know what, I don't like them, which that's also, we have a very low return rate. We won't have them send them back to us. We will have them go donate them. And so we ask for a proof of picture where just send us a picture of you at a homeless shelter or at a, donation drop box with your sheets. We package everything with a knapsack so that way you can actually carry them around and travel with them. So we have a lot of people who, they say that's a great idea. They'll take them to the local homeless shelter and they drop them off. They send us a picture and we say, great, and we'll refund them. So, we don't want people to take advantage of our very, we have no time limit on our return policy. We don't do 100 days or 100 nights or whatever. It's just if you love them, great. And if you don't, great, that's okay. It works out pretty well for the most part. And then that's how we guard ourselves against bad actors, is we make sure that we get a picture of them donating their sheets somewhere.
That's great. This is also a very nice idea to avoid a return. What do you do with it?
Yeah, exactly.
That's the thing, especially in that niche. Yeah, there's a market.
There's no market for used bed sheets, or mattresses for that matter.
And very social. So this is also something I think that people really like about the brand. If a brand is really social and they really do something good. And it's a good idea.
And we're a very social brand. We have a lot of fun on social media as well.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, last question for today. Who has taught you the most about e-commerce in your career?
Probably my own failures. To be totally honest,
this is a good one.
When you take some lumps. Both before Sheets and Giggles and after I founded it, I've learned so much, and it's an ever-changing landscape. So I think that you can only learn by failing, and that's something that's been really helpful for me. And then I would say, in terms of a human being, a person. There are these guys in Boulder, I'll give them a shout out, in Colorado, called Shinesty, SHINESTY. And they are an apparel company. So they do ski clothing and ski wear and other fun outfits. And they are very, very good marketers and very, very good e-commerce people. And so I've learned a lot from them. And then I think that a couple other folks have been helpful to me, but no one that really stands out too much, at least not off the top of my head. So
great.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. It was really a pleasure to talk to you. Learned a lot today again. So some takeouts. Have your stock.
Yes.
Have your stock. So think about how to manage the stock, how to reorder things, have your supply chain set up correctly so that you really can deliver, but don't buy too much. Don't have too much in stock.
You gotta thread the needle. You gotta thread the needle. It's tough.
It needs to work. And I really like the idea with the put a second thing to the cart and the shipping is on us. So I like that idea. It's really nice and it's a different approach. Like get this amount. I think this is especially doable if you have pricey products.
Yes.
Then it's doable. If you have those small and very low pricing products, then of course it's gonna be hard to reach the limit. So the shipping is really, but it's an interesting approach for pricey products. So I really like that. Thanks so much. Was great. Have a good rest in your bed.
Thanks. I appreciate it. I got a day started now, so I got to jump out of bed. But I appreciate you having me, and thanks for letting me share the Sheets Giggles story. And I hope this was helpful for at least one person listening.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. Have a great day.
And that's it for this episode of the eCom Ops podcast. If you enjoyed listening and would like us to find and interview more e-commerce operations experts, please search for eCom Ops podcast in your favorite podcast listening app, and then subscribe, rate, and review. Until next time.